Welcome to the Where Rural Matters podcast, the official podcast of the Texas Rural Education Association. Here, we spotlight the people, policies, and programs making a difference in rural schools across Texas. TREA, Where Rural Matters.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining in to this edition of our podcast. This is Bill Tarleton with Texas Rural Education Association, Where Rural Matters, and we're here today with Dr. Nugget Cunningham with a group called Teachworthy, and Dr. Jason Hewitt with Shepherd ISD. And welcome both of you to today's podcast.
Thank you.
Bill. Nugget, I'm going to start with you. I want you to tell us what Teachworthy is. We know that hiring teachers is hiring qualified, certified teachers has become more and more difficult the last few years, particularly those of us in rural school districts. So tell us what Teachworthy does and how you can help with that.
Yes, sir. Well, Teachworthy is a traditional alt-cert program in which we take people who have a degree and help them get the courses and the training they need to be prepared to actually become a certified teacher. So it works over the period of about a year to get the certification. And so it takes people who have a degree and helps them get certified. We have Teachworthy Elevate, which really now focuses on people who would be a great teacher but don't have a degree. So we're able to fill in with helping them get their bachelor's degree and then also follow up with the alt-cert piece so that they can become certified to teach. So that's what it is.
All right. So you really have two strands or two programs. You can help non-degreed people get their certification, and you can help, and the separate one is helping degreed people get their certification. Do I understand that right?
Yes, that's exactly right. You understand that right. And the one that we call Teachworthy Elevate has been very popular the last couple of years because we've got a lot of people in districts all around the state that would be a great teacher, and many of them who have worked for years in school districts as paraprofessionals, instructional aides, sometimes long-term subs, some of them secretaries, all kinds of different capacities. So they know the culture and climate of a school district. They know the community. They're invested in the school district and in the community because they generally live there. Many of them are from there. So what they're missing is the degree and the certification piece. So when we're able to come alongside and help them complete that bachelor's degree and then also get the teacher certification, they're able to continue to contribute in an even larger way to their school district as a teacher.
In essentially a grow your own type of program, right?
It is very much grow your own, and all of the different pieces of the program are customizable according to what the district needs or wants. So it is very much grow your own.
I may want you to talk about that more in a minute and possibly the cost and that sort of thing and how that works. But Jason, I want you to weigh in on that from a superintendent standpoint. How do you use Teachworthy? How does it work in your district?
Well, we use Teachworthy in the traditional sense of folks who want to come teach that already have a bachelor's degree and want to obtain their teacher certification. Matter of fact, we actually want folks to go through Teachworthy over all of the other educational prep programs. It's most aligned with T-Test. It's most aligned with instructional practices of what happens in today's classroom, and that's why we are proponents of that. The second way that we do it is much like their Elevate program. We just call it something different here. It's called Inspire, where we have taken our best of the best paraprofessionals, put them in the classroom, work with IW to help them get their their bachelor's degree. And then once they're finished with that, then they go through the Teachworthy program. And we've graduated 6 paraprofessionals as full-time teachers. Now they're in their first year of alternative certification. They're some of our best teachers in our district. It's a life-changing way to get someone, how you grow your own. And those folks actually live in Shepherd. And what's great about that is they don't tend to move. So,
Right.
we've built some folks in our system that are just love Shepherd ISD, love our kids. And we couldn't do it without the partnership with Teachworthy, the Flippin' Group, IWU. They've just transformed our district.
Explain that, Nugget. Explain IWU and what Jason meant by that.
So IWU stands for Indiana Wesleyan University, Texas. We have a partnership with IWU Texas in which we're able to provide the courses that someone needs to either get a bachelor's degree or complete a bachelor's degree. More often than not, we have a lot of people out there that have old college credit from years gone by. And so we're able to take that old college credit and drop it onto a new degree plan with IWU. So when they complete the program, their bachelor's degree will be from IWU. And then their Teachworthy piece is what allows them to be able to teach in the state of Texas and be alternatively certified. So IWU is our university partner.
So how does it work? I know there's a cost. Who pays the cost? Does the employee pay or the person going through the program pay the cost? Does the school pay the cost? A combination of both? How does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. Jason, go ahead. I think I stepped on you.
It's all right. Nugget, you go ahead and explain, and then we'll explain how we do it here at Shepherd.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, yeah, because we kind of have a generic approach so that school districts can make it cost what they want it to cost as far as passing different expenses on to their participants. Most of our school districts choose to make it free for their participants to get their degree, mainly because they're already working for a lower salary as a paraprofessional. As you know, most paraprofessionals in the state of Texas probably make anywhere between 15, 20, 25, maybe high 20s, depending on what it is they're doing and how long they've been with the district. So what happens is we're able to take them from the paraprofessional role once they're selected for the program and move them into a classroom instructor role. And when they go to become a classroom instructor, they will actually take over a classroom and they will be paid somewhere in between what they would make as a paraprofessional and what they might make as a first year starting teacher in that district. So I'll give you a round number. For example, if they were making $20,000 as a paraprofessional, and if the starting teacher pay in a district is $45,000, well, they may move into a classroom instructor role making $30,000. So that's a huge jump for them to go from 20 to 30, but it also leaves the money for the school district to help pay for the cost of their program. So that $15,000 that the district saves goes to pay for their degree and their training cost.
Awesome. Thank you. Jason, did you want to add to that, or how do you do it at Shepherd?
Yeah, we do it the same way. We put them in the classroom, we pay them a starting teacher salary, and then we take off what it costs for them to go to IWU for that semester or that year. So roughly our paras make anywhere from $36,000 to $40,000 here at Shepherd. And so with that being said, we also have them fill out the FAFSA for federal aid as well. Most of those people qualify for that. So it's even a little bit more cost savings for the district, if you will. It's already a teacher salary in the budget. So it's really budget neutral when you think about it. You're moving a para into the classroom and lessening their salary of what it costs to go to college. It's still budget neutral. So with that being said, it's free to the person who goes, but at the end of the day, the district gets a teacher. And I realize the new law about certification and all of that, but we also have had District of Innovation processes in place. And this is also touted by the commissioner of Texas. And there's been several school districts in the state of Texas that have started this. Shepherd was probably the first rural school district in the state to do something like this, to sign on with Teachworthy. And it's been remarkable for us. So I think it's the way to help mitigate the shortage. At the same time, you grow your own. But we'll have to figure out with the new legislation of how to, like, not get around it, but completely staff our classrooms. There's a way to create mentors and folks like that, and certain innovative teaching styles to still put them in the classroom. And we'll just have to work through that. But we're moving forward full steam ahead. We've got 6 kids, or I say kids, they're kids to me, I guess, but we got 6 more in the program ready to go. And the Shepherd is slowly but surely staffing Shepherd ISD with Shepherd community members, and it's an amazing thing.
So, and Bill, one other piece is when they get to the point in which they are actually in the Alt-Start program, which is their intern year, at that point, they're eligible to make full first-year teacher pay and benefits. So there's usually a cost of about $3,300 left that still needs to be paid for, and that is typically paid for by the participant. And we like to say that's their skin in the game, but it comes at a time when they're making full first-year teacher pay. So we payroll deduct that over, like the 9 months that they're in the classroom, and they don't really miss it because they're already making so much more than they're accustomed to making. So, and right. Jason, I don't know if that's how y'all do yours as well, but
yeah, we do. But because they are teacher of record in our district, wherever they fall once they graduate, if it takes them 2 years, then we move them to the 2-year experience salary scale. So they get quite a bump. I'll tell you this too, several of our Inspire candidates, while teaching in the classroom, yet not certified or degreed, are eligible for TIA. So it tells you how good, good a staff that they are. And their attitudes are just right for education. They want to serve kids. It's the key difference. When you talk to this group, you've made some life-changing situations happen for this group of people, and they just have a wonderful attitude. I almost call it a nostalgic attitude of old, of just serving, kids and loving their job, like what we desperately need in education, and will do whatever it takes to get kids to read or do math or write or whatever. And they're remarkable people. And I'm so happy that we have this opportunity in front of us. I'm hopeful that we can keep it going, because it's the wave of the future, in my opinion. There is another area inside of Elevate where you can have dual credit classes in the high school, and where you move those kids through an educational process, and then they take the aid certification, and then you hire them as a para, and then in year 2 or 3 you move them into a teaching role. I believe Forney ISD does that. They were one of the first. They do a really good job of it. But that's a way to grow your own, even in your classrooms at 15, 16, 17 years old. And that's really what we need. We need people growing up wanting to be teachers. And that's
amazing.
Point. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and Jason, to piggyback on something that you said, the people that are in this program, when they're selected for the program, and the district makes all the selections, it's completely district driven, because they know who some of the best candidates would be to become teachers. They've seen them in action. They see their work ethic. They, watched them on the job interact, and know how they motivate kids. And so when they get selected for the program, I mean, it is not uncommon to see tears of joy, because you're dealing with people that in many cases thought their chance to go to college had come and gone, and maybe they tried it and it didn't work out and culminate in a degree, or maybe they never could go off to college. And so for you to bring college to them and have a way for them to continue to work and actually be more highly compensated while they're while they're holding a very important role in the district, but then also getting their degree without having to go into student debt to get it, they feel like they've won the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes, and they are so appreciative and excited and thankful to be there. And, at a time when we need people across this great profession to be excited and really motivated about changing lives, it just all fits. So yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Well, it is amazing, and it's amazing that the paraprofessionals can go through this program, and like you both said, they are typically dedicated to that community anyway, and they're going to make a lot more money, and they're doing what they love, and that's good. But then you also, and I think you touched on it, but if I'm not mistaken, there's quite a lot of uncertified teachers who have bachelors but uncertified in the schools, and there's been some talk and possible legislation about not allowing that to happen anymore. And on the one hand, we understand that. On the other hand, they're not there. So this is a way to get them there, correct?
The gold standard is still certification, any way you look at it. And we all believe that as superintendents. And obviously, I know Nugget does as well. We want people to be certified, but let's be honest, the state of Texas has 54% of its teachers currently right now, 378,000, that are in some type of alternatively certified system. And what that tells you is that kids don't go to college anymore to become teachers. So there has to be some way that we have a design that we can either grow our own or work with an EPP or an ACP program to get folks in. And I think that's the data. That's the real data that's behind all of this. And as a superintendent, I have the charge of staffing a classroom, and I have. And we've had long-term subs in our room for as long as I can remember, since the shortage has happened. I think that is almost exclusively in every district in Texas. Somebody's got somebody who's a long-term sub. But I know we all have paraprofessionals where we've put in the classroom for 6 weeks, 9 weeks, however long, and have just carried on just fine as anybody who would come off the street and be a long-term sub. And I think when you look at it from that perspective, that's what this utilizes, is that says, hey, let's take our best and our brightest. Let's grow them if they want to grow and get a college degree, as Nugget said. There's many, many of them who have gone to college and life happened. Either they had children or some kind of situation where they had to, step out of college or whatever. And they still love being in education. And so they've made their way back in, but at a very, at a para rate or whatever. And we've tapped those people, and we continue to grow our current group of paras because they're super excited. It's kind of competitive in that group of getting an Inspire here in Shepherd. And so when I tell you that this is really the way that we're going to fix education in terms of getting folks in the classroom that need to be certified, this is the way. We're not competing with colleges. We're not competing with ACP programs. We're just simply merely growing our own folks. And we're using this particular program and this partnership that we have with Teachworthy to do that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and we're adding value to the people in the schools that are already adding value to the students. So it's just a win-win because everybody is already in place. And in our small rural schools that sometimes don't pay as much as some of the big, more, metropolitan schools,
Correct.
it's a way to really encourage people to still have a great standard of living and be able to improve their salary, improve their retirement, but stay right there where they're happy and they're at home and they want to be.
That is awesome. We appreciate that. It couldn't come at a better time. Jason, thank you very, very much for weighing in as a practitioner working with this program. Nugget, thank you very much for doing this. And Nugget, how do they get in touch with you? We know they can get in touch with Jason at Shepherd ISD, but how would they get in touch with you if they're interested in learning more about Teachworthy?
Well, I think half of Texas has my cell number, so I don't mind giving it out. Or if you want to post it on the website, you want me to say it right now? Or
Sure, you can go ahead and say it, and then we've also got your contact information on our website, and that's what I was going to say. Folks can always get to you through us very easily.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
It's 817-915-NUGG, N-U-G-G. So 817-915-6844. That really is what it is. So give me a call and I'd love to help y'all.
Well, this is exciting news. Couldn't come at a better time, and we appreciate what both of you do. Particularly you, Jason. Thanks for doing what you do with schools and with students in our district and getting the best teachers possible for Shepherd ISD. Thanks everyone for joining in. We appreciate your listening to this edition of the podcast, and we'll see you on the radio next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill.
Thanks for listening to the Where Rural Matters podcast, brought to you by the Texas Rural Education Association. Stay connected, stay informed, and keep advocating for rural education in Texas.